Yeah, I know, but there's too many tags on YouTube. It's getting really ridiculous. Yeah. Hi fans of high quality entertainment. It's time to do a tag. This is from Alex from the YouTube channel Beer and Vinyl. And this is the 225 Progressive Rock Vinyl Tag. I'm so excited to do this. Just joking. Yeah, he's got 15 very good questions. Alex was on my live chat yesterday with Glenn Calloway from the Basement, Michael Noland, The Bottom Line, and Wayne from A Pocket Full of Heat. And yeah, we had a nice 2-hour chat. So it's on my Canadian Studmuffin channel if you want to watch it. So here we go. Let's get right into these questions. Number 1, and I'll have a link for Alex's channel below, and also I'll post the questions in the pinned comment. So number 1, favorite progressive release or purchase of 2024. Well, I didn't really buy a lot of new albums last year, but this one, just like everyone else, you know, it's the singer from one of my all-time favorite bands, new album. You know, he's in his 80s now, and you're thinking, it's going to be good at least. This is as good as any of the later Yes albums with John Anderson, like Magnification, Key Studio. I love those albums. They're so underrated. And this equals a lot of just great Yes music. If you didn't know it was the band geeks behind him, you would think it was, seriously a new Yes album. So highly recommended if you haven't checked it out yet. Just ignore the cover. Am we done yet? 14 questions to go. Latest discovery or deep dive. I think if you're, a viewer of my channel for the past few months, you know what band I'm going to say. I'm going to say Ween. Even though, they're not progressive rock, but in their career, I don't think there's any band that can top them for all the different genres they've done. So in a way, it is progressive. And I'm doing a CD exchange with Glenn Calloway on my Canadian Studmuffin channel, and I gave him Ween's White Pepper, which is probably the most normal album by them. Great production and everything. I have no idea if he's going to like it or not, but I'm hoping he does. So I'm only missing one of their studio albums, 12 Golden Country Greats. And then I also want to get some of their live albums. An artist, musician we lost in 2024. Well, I'm going with the lead singer of this great band, Can, Future Days, and the singer is Damo Suzuki, if that's how you pronounce it. I've never said his name before. He sadly passed away last February, and he was the second singer for Can. The first one, Mooney, isn't an acquired taste. He's not really a great singer, but he suited the music of Can, and so Damo is on this, Future Days, one of my favorite Can albums, and of course Tego Mago, a very unique singer. So he's on some or all of those albums I just showed. All right, number 4. An album celebrating 50 years. So released in 1975. I'm going with a very underrated prog rock band. Nectar, and this is their album Recycled, celebrating 50 years. You can tell by the cover it's prog. And yeah, this is just a very, very underrated band, overall. And if you wanted to start listening to Nectar, check out Remember the Future. But this is an excellent album too. All right, question number 5. Show an album that represents a progressive subgenre, space rock, progressive metal, jazz fusion, etc. I have chosen Frank Zappa's Grand Wazoo, which is, it's like jazz rock, prog, big band. It's just, this and Hot Rats are the two albums that kind of got me interested in jazz rock, Miles Davis and everything later on. So, and I love this album cover and the back cover. Number 6, show an instrumental album or song. Well, I'm going to go back to Ween again, and this is from the album Chocolate and Cheese, and it's an instrumental. It's called A Tear for Eddie. If you love guitar solos, you really need to check it out. The song was written by Dean Ween as a eulogy to the guitarist Eddie Hazel of Funkadelic, whom Diener greatly admired and who died in December 1992 during the writing process of Chocolate and Cheese. The song is a notable showcase for Dean's lead guitar playing, and as silly as Ween could be, especially on their early albums when they were recording on 4-track tape, he definitely is, I've heard so many guitarists in my life. He would definitely be in my top 10 guitarists of all time now. He's just very creative with his guitar solos, and so a good place to start to check out his guitar work is A Tear for Eddie. So just type that in on YouTube and you should be able to, there's live versions too, but check out the studio version first. All right, number 7, show your favorite record label. Could be your favorite design, artist on the label, history, etc. Well, in some other tag, I showed the Beatles Apple label, so I don't want to do that again. But another all-time favorite is Frank Zappa's Zappa Records label. There it is there. So yeah, it's right there, Zappa Records, and then of course, kind of his logo. Yeah, founded by Frank Zappa in 1977, it was mostly inactive during the 1980s and 90s, but was revived in 2006 by the Zappa Family Trust. Local hero, thank you. Oh, somebody else. Local hero, show an album by an artist from your home country, state, province, whatever. So I have chosen a band I've talked about quite often on this channel. They are the Northern Pikes, just great, they're not prog, but they're great pop rock. And these are the albums I have by them. Neptune, Truest Inspiration, Big Blue Sky Deluxe Version, Forest of Love, their greatest hits. Yeah, they had quite a few hit singles here in Canada. Snow in June was probably their best-selling album, I believe. And It's a Good Life. Yeah, so if you like really catchy pop rock, I highly recommend the Northern Pikes. They're from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, 1984. The original members are Jay Semko, Brian Potvin, Merle Brick, and Glenn Hollingshead, who left the band in 1985 and was replaced by Jay Simcoe in June 1986. And Kevin Kane from the band The Grapes of Wrath is now, he's in the Northern Pikes and the Grapes of Wrath, who are still, touring sometimes. Number 9, it bothers me that this artist isn't appreciated more. Show an artist band that really deserves more attention and credit. Well, ignore what Glenn Calloway from the Basement says about this band. They're progressive pop rock, I would say. Of course, I'm talking about Klaatu. And that's their first album, 3:47 Eastern Standard Time, which I also have here. And probably my favorite, which is, progressive pop, is the album Hope. And I also have Sir Army Suit and Endangered Species. The Contrarian, share your unpopular opinion. Album, lineup, song. All right, I'm going to go back to the band Yes. And as I've said, I feel the later Yes albums with John Anderson before he left the band for good, I feel they are, for me, they're just as good as the earlier Yes albums. So if you haven't checked out Magnification by Yes, I mean, the album cover sometimes doesn't help. It's so, kind of plain. But this is as good, like I said, as earlier Yes. And it features the great lineup of John Anderson, Steve Howe, Chris Squire, and Alan White. There's no keyboards on this album. There's, just like Time and a Word, there's an orchestra, and I feel the orchestra works. Even though I love Time and a Word, I think the orchestra fits in better on this album, so yeah. You Yes fans out there, stop ignoring later Yes, because this is excellent. Okay, who did it better? Show a progressive band covering a song, or an artist covering a prog song, or just a cover song. I think Glenn Calloway mentioned this in when he did the tag, and I would have, it's not that I'm copying him, but it's, for once, I'm not copying him. It's the first thing I thought of. And it is Yes doing the Beatles' Every Little Thing and just stretching it out, making it a totally different, making it a prog rock song, basically. And they also do a amazing version of Simon and Garfunkel's America, where it stretches out for like 10 minutes or so. So check out those two cover songs. Okay, still going strong. Show an older artist who is still going strong today. I am going to go with a man who I believe is, he's in his early 80s. I think he's 82 or 84. I'm going to go with the great Arthur Brown. And he's still putting out quality albums. This is his one from a couple of years ago called Long, Long Road. And in the early 70s, his band was called Kingdom Come, and because later on there was another band called Kingdom Come, they've changed it to Arthur Brown's Kingdom Come. But definitely proggy albums. Number 13. That's not prog, is it? Show an album or artist that could be prog or not. Well, I'm going to go with... Now, this band had a lot of radio hits, but early in their career, they were a prog band in my books. And I'm going to show two of my favorites. Electric Light Orchestra, El Dorado, and ELO 2. And the box set that a viewer kindly is sending me, the ELO box set, It should be here sometime this week and I'll do an unboxing. Girls don't like prog, do they? Show an album by an artist that has a female member or features a woman on the album. Well, about the only one that I would say is kind of prog, a female artist, is Canada's Jane Siberry, and this is The Walking. It's almost like a counterpart. It's like the Canadian female version of early Peter Gabriel. But I mean, she's her own artist, and this is my favorite album of hers. So if you love prog rock, check out Jane Siberry, The Bird in the Gravel. It's a 10-minute, 42-second epic. It's awesome. Might take you, 2 or 3 listens to get it, but this is a great album. And the last one is number 15, an artist or band you want to dive into or get back into this year. Well, this is a band I was a fan of in the early 70s, and then after a few weak album releases, I gave up on them for years, even though, I still like the early albums. And then I think in one of our CD exchanges with Glenn, he gave me this album, and I never knew how good it was until I heard it. It's the debut album by Uriah Heep. Very heavy, very humble. And so I definitely want to get like Salisbury and Look at Yourself. I've never heard those whole albums. So I want to get more of the early Uriah Heep. And the other two I have, this is when I was a fan in the early 70s. The first one I bought was The Magician's Birthday, and my favorite, Demons and Wizards. So that is it. Please check out Alex's tag and make your own tag video if you have a YouTube channel. And thanks for watching, and check out Alex's channel below. Bye.